What up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be reacting to another death battle. It's the newest one. It's Blade versus Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. I want to know who's going to win. So before we jump right in, as always, guys, I got to ask, please leave a like down below if you guys enjoyed this video and would like more content like this. On top of that, I would also appreciate it if you guys subscribed and hit the notification bell if you guys like gaming content, anime content, and this sort of reactionary content, because I'm a variety channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. And let's stop the rambling here and let's continue on to the video. All right, so we're in. We're watching Blade versus Buffy.
This is Buffy, the Daywalker versus the Vampire Slayer. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. They are known by many names: Revenant, Vortala, Nosferatu. Vampires! When the moon is out and the night is young, these undead demons are out for blood.
That's good.
Fitting
Sorry about that.
That the greatest foe of those who stalk the night is the one who can walk the day. Blade. Is that
I love
really
Blade.
his costume?
He's sick.
Now there's a man who doesn't file his taxes. Blade is one of the coolest superheroes ever, and basically kickstarted the comic book movie craze. And yet, he is
He did. He really did.
The only one who knows or
In fact, I think it was like Stan Lee that said that the Marvel we know now, the MCU, was saved because of Blade. Like Marvel was going bankrupt because they couldn't, the comics were selling, but like the movies and stuff were like, I think they were trying to do were like sliding them, like causing them to go into debt. Or whatever other things were causing them to go into debt, and so they took a Hail Mary attempt with Blade being the first Marvel movie to come out based off of a Marvel property, and it did really well in the box office. And in fact, it did so well that they decided to make a Hulk movie and then an Iron Man movie, or was it the Iron Man movie and then the Hulk movie? It was in that order somewhere between there, but somewhere there. But it led the pathway to the MCU, and like the greatest first act, I guess, or part one ever, with the ending of Endgame, and then it sort of fell, off a cliff after that. It kind of sucked. But I'm talking my mouth out of my mouth here, so let's continue.
That in the world of Marvel, vampires exist. Seriously,
They do.
nobody talks about this. Blade doesn't need anyone's help. He'll just aura farm by himself. Even Blade's birth was hardcore. Just as the young Eric Brooks's mother was in labor, her attending doctor turned out to be the vampire Deacon Frost. And he drank her blood right before she gave birth. This infused Eric with Frost's vampiric blood, turning him half human, half vampire. A Dampier. Giving him a ton of vampy powers, but none of their weaknesses like garlic, holy water, or sunlight. Eric would hone these abilities under the tutelage of vampire hunter Jamal Afari, sharpening him into a blade that would rape the vampire plague for good. Blade is strong and fast enough to toss around 1,000-pound demons and cut bullets out of the air. He can keep up
That's
with
sick.
Wolverine, who can deflect Cyclops' light-speed optic blasts. And his Kevlar DuPont armor helped him take the top of Count Von Stott's castle exploding. He can heal small wounds immediately and sniff out the supernatural with his hypersenses.
I did not know that.
Drain
Wow.
his victims of magical energies. After studying the ways of Hong Kong kung fu movies, Blade
What?
became a master martial artist. Ah, yes, the Rufus from Street Fighter
But
School
what
of
the
Kung
fuck?
Fu. While the only martial art
Blade learned martial arts through kung fu movies, or is that just a joke? Because if he did, that's impressive as fuck.
he's been stated to know is Krav Maga, we know he's mastered more. So for the full scope of his martial arts ability, we'll examine the Blade movies as performed by Wesley Snipes. By looking at Snipes' training and choreography, we know Blade uses Kung Fu, Capoeira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Eskrima, Kickboxing, Shotokan Karate, and Hapkido. Add on Blade's knack for stealthy takedowns.
Good selection of martial arts, honestly.
Marvel's
Albion Online is a
I think it's a good selection.
RPG in which you write your own.
Maybe not the most lethal ones,
Batman.
but pretty good selection.
Blade's training progressed smoothly until Afari was attacked and had his blood drained by Dracula. Seriously, Avengers, Dracula is real. Why aren't you doing anything about this? He's right there!
Forced to murk his surrogate dad, Blade would have to wage his war alone.
Nursing a wound within him that would never heal. A hole that could never be filled.
Feels bad.
But with that attitude, Blade took a page out of the Book of Boomstick and tried filling that hole with every kind of weapon imaginable. He's got so many, they're his apartment decorations.
Handguns, assault rifles, and explosives make up the brunt of his firepower. And he
Good
enjoys
to have.
getting up close and personal with his dual acid-etched titanium katana.
Sick.
Speaking of glorious Nippon steel, he's got a sword made out of adamantium.
Specifically, secondary adamantium, a variant of the metal that is mass-producible.
It might not be quite as strong as Cap's shield, but it can cut right through heavy hitters like Ultron and the Hulk.
Naturally,
Yeesh.
Blade has even more
That's good.
swords. His Atlantean ones can slice through magical enchantments. The Word Sword can harm intangible demons.
Damn.
And the Justiciar can slay fallen angels.
Yeah, he's got
He can
some
kill
weird
angels,
stuff
too.
He can pull out of his ass, like a Hellfire shotgun.
He has
that
a
burns
weapon
your
for
soul,
everything.
Or hypodermic needles filled with vampire blood. Seems kind of dumb to turn people into vampires, but
Eesh,
it does
that's
make
terrifying.
them more vulnerable to Blade's arsenal.
All that pales in comparison to the arch weapon of hell in Blade's possession, the breathing gun. It is a living firearm
Seriously?
that hisses in the presence of demonic forces.
Oh.
Its sentient bullets chase its victims down.
That's
The wounds they
cool.
cause
That's good.
cannot be healed. And if they get lodged in your body, they'll slowly devour you from the inside out.
That's
They can
broken.
even
What?
hurt Hell Lords and even greater threats like the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Blade took everything he had and fought his one-man
Hey,
war for almost
that gun
100
is
years.
broken,
He's
bro.
battled hordes of vampires while skydiving, infiltrated the Pentagon, and even took on Spider-Man like Miles Morales, who could absorb the energy of a bomb that could destroy Harlem. Blades even bested the Spirit of Vengeance, Zarathos.
And while he occasionally allied with teams like the Avengers, he prefers to work alone.
I probably would too if they only cared about me when I was helping them and not ridding the world of, vampires.
That, and Blade is scared
I
of
mean,
what he might do if he loses control.
I don't think the
because he
Avengers are
does have
equipped
one
to
classic
take on
vampire weakness,
the
a
supernatural.
thirst for
In fact,
blood.
they struggle
More
quite a
so
bit
after
to
he
do so.
had a daughter, Brielle, whom he avoided for fear of endangering her. If his bloodlust does overwhelm him, he will enter a berserker rage, skyrocketing his strength at the cost of his sanity.
Though it does make him even better at killing vamps. He's made a cottage industry out of whooping Dracula's ass.
Dracula is unsurprisingly powerful, capable of summoning a thunderstorm that covered all of Boston with a wave of his hand.
That's
Drac
broken.
apparently didn't hold a grudge though, since he eventually made Blade the sheriff of Vampirsk, a vampire nation in the ruins of Chernobyl.
Amazingly, Dracula has even given Blade some of his own blood, which allows him to shapeshift into multiple forms, like a wolf, a horde of bats, or a cloud of mist.
So he can force his way inside your body.
So
and
more
blow
vampire
you up from
abilities,
the
really?
inside out,
Realistically.
Ant-Man style.
What is with you with the Ant-Man? Blade's hatred of vampires is only matched by his hatred of himself. However, when Brielle showed signs of vampiric powers, Blade finally found a reason to reconnect with his daughter, training her the same way Afari trained him a century prior.
Even after Blade was possessed
Oh,
by
yeah,
the
he lived
first
for a long
vampire
time, didn't he?
ever and tried to take over the planet, Brielle put her dad's teachings to the test, saving both him and the world.
And proving that Blade's lonely war need not be so lonely anymore. With his daughter at his side, and also this plant creature pet called Boy Thing, let Marvel's vampires beware.
That's
For should
Swamp
they
Thing, but
indulge
small.
their unnatural urges, they will be sure to meet their end at the tip of his blade. Today's battle is sponsored by Prize Picks.
You know what's awesome? Being right, especially when your co-host is always wrong.
Funny, but on
Alright, let me
Prize
skip
Picks,
this, let
being
me
right
skip
can
this.
Get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of football season on Prize Picks' worst $5 lineup.
Alright.
Newspapers.com.
Sorry about the ads,
Read all
boys.
about it.
Sorry about the ads. It happens.
Uber Eats knows when your team scores extra
It
points,
costs a lot
you
to
want
buy, I
extra
think, premium,
pizza.
so-
And now here's a buy one, get one large
Oh,
pizza.
In every generation, there is a chosen one. She alone will stand against the vampires, the demons, and the forces of darkness. She
Creepy.
is the Slayer.
For thousands of years, a new Slayer would be granted incredible powers and was destined to die young in battle against evil, passing their powers on to the next Slayer, and the next, and so on. That is, until the newest Slayer would change everything. Buffy Ann Summers.
Not exactly the first girl you'd think is the savior of humanity.
Nope.
Buffy's only goals in life were, in her own words, graduate from high school, go to Europe, marry Christian Slater, and die.
But that would all change when the Watcher Merrick appeared and
That's
revealed
crazy.
her destiny.
Like, total bummer.
Merrick trained Buffy in the arts of vampire slaying, and she became so efficient that she burned down her school. Whoops.
Forcing her
Hey,
and her mom to move to
you gotta do what you gotta do to get rid
California
of them
start
vamps,
a new
bro.
life, far away from any more bloodsuckers and bad makeup.
Unfortunately, small problem, Sunnydale just so happened to be right on top of a hellmouth, where the boundary between Earth and Hell is permeable.
Yeah, that sounds like the Valley, all right. Along with new Watcher Giles, Wallflower Willow, part-time bad boy, part-time sad boy Angel, magical retcon sister Dawn, and Xander. Buffy and her Scooby gang would battle a never-ending series of monsters.
And we mean truly never-ending. Sure, there's the TV show, but Buffy has also been slaying vampires across video games, comics, and 128 novels.
Okay, that's a lot of books.
Thousands
Jesus.
of pages of Buffy lore you've never heard of.
But we're just crazy enough to
I didn't even know she had
speed
that
them
deep of
all.
lore.
Buffy carries a variety of anti-vampire weaponry. There's wooden stakes, of course, sometimes dipped in Gorgon
What was
venom
that?
can turn you
What
to
was she doing
stone.
that with her
Though
hand? What the
She's
fuck?
also experienced with axes, swords, quarterstaffs, holy water, just about anything.
You
Oh,
said it.
yeah.
When she fought an ancient demon unable to be killed by any weapon forged in his time, Buffy introduced his stupid ass to the 20th century.
She's also a
He
master
blew
of
him up.
Aikido, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, karate, kung fu, wushu, tai chi, kendo, capoeira, and taekwondo.
Buffy
So more,
apparently thinks Hong
she
Kong's kung fu
learned
movie
more, a
masters
little bit
could
more
learn a
lethal
thing or
fighting
two.
styles
No kidding.
and
Thanks to her
kickboxing.
Slayer senses, her
And
reflexes
other-
are
and other
fine-tuned
stuff
enough to dodge
like that.
close-range Gatling gun fire, lightning bolts from the sky, and even beams of light. She's kept up with another Slayer, Faith, who can dodge laser beams from point-blank range.
Buffy's strong enough to bend rebar, punch this 4.5-ton bat monster into the air, and smash hard enough to tear apart a building.
And despite her lack of armor, she can survive massive explosions, like the one that destroyed Cephrilion's lair that's bigger on the inside.
She can
Okay.
even fight blindfolded, but if she is injured, she heals fast enough to be totally fine by the next episode.
One time, Angel sucked out almost all of the blood from her body, and she survived. Doubly impressive since Angel's blood draining also drains magical energy.
Yeah, Buffy's own magic makes her weirdly resilient to esoteric attacks, like when she expelled this misty shadow demon trying to possess her body, or when she resisted her soul being ripped apart and scattered across time.
Or that time she
Okay,
jumped
that's
into
broken.
a vat of boiling liquid so hot it could reduce people to skeletons, and she was just fine.
She might not show physical scars, but she sure has emotional ones. Being the Slayer put a huge burden on Buffy's life.
Unable to live normally, she felt isolated, forced to internalize the trauma she faced on a daily basis. Sure, she had friends, but they couldn't understand her unique struggle.
Like when Angel turned evil after he took her virginity and tried to destroy the world.
Okay,
Must be
that's
one
a hell of a
those metaphors.
tagline.
Sometimes the worst
Whoa.
enemies are the ones you can't fight and who don't fight back.
Made even worse by her having all the memories of the other Slayers bouncing around in her head, dating back to the Stone Age.
Buffy has dreamt of every battle a Slayer has ever fought, and can call upon those skills in a fight, even subconsciously.
But this includes the
That's
memories
broken.
of their deaths. Countless women violently dying young, a reminder of her inevitable fate.
A fate that came to pass when she fought the Hell God Glory. After leaping into Glory's reality-ending interdimensional hole,
A glory hole, if you will.
Okay,
Buffy
let's
sacrificed
chill out.
herself to
Chill out.
save the universe, dying a hero's death.
It appears my glory hole joke was poorly timed.
Finally
Yes,
freed
yes, it
of
was.
her unfair earthly responsibilities, Buffy's
She saved a
soul
lot, yeah.
ascended to heaven in perfect bliss. Until her friends brought her back to life in the agony of existence.
Of course it did.
This absolutely crushed Buffy and, ironically, annihilated her will to live.
Oh, that's rough, Buffy. But with the show renewed for more seasons, she had to nut up and continue her endless crusade against all things Spirit Halloween.
Buffy's battled for 48 hours straight, defeated vampires immune to traditional vampiric weaknesses, and destroyed the Sword of Sano, which caused the Great Hanshin Earthquake.
And of course, both Buffy and her friends have defeated countless immensely powerful demons.
Like the Queller Demon, which arrived as a meteor and caused the Tunguska explosion.
I think the
which
Spirit of
destroyed
Vengeance
over
or the Demon of
2,000
Vengeance
square
is way
kilometers
stronger
of
than
forest.
those, though.
Or the Sorrow Demon, which caused a storm that blanketed Los Angeles.
Okay,
She's
that,
also a match
maybe
for
not that
Angel,
one.
who survived a blast that could rupture a continental shelf, and took hits from Whistler, whose magic contained a bomb that could vaporize London.
She even faced off against the First Evil, literally the embodiment of all evil that predates reality itself.
Forced into battles against stronger and stronger baddies, Buffy
Damn.
clearly needed something to even the odds.
Man, they're putting that poor girl through hell, man. What the hell? Like, think about that. Her friends revived her, and she did not want to be revived. She wanted to stay dead. God damn it, bro. Talk about not letting her rest in peace. She's like, guys, I already dealt with this while I was alive. I don't want to deal with it again. And you know how good friends are. They're like, fuck that, bitch. You're gonna come back.
Slayer safe!
It's actually a Bardiche.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna say it. This thing is bullshit.
Containing the essence of Buffy's Slayer powers and created to defeat ancient demons, the scythe can deflect magical projectiles and slice through just about anything. Ghosts, magic, even space itself, destabilizing reality in the process.
Even Silas, the devourer of worlds. Kinda like Galactus, but instead of chomping on planets, he eats the multiverse. And there goes his head.
The scythe is easily the
Okay,
most
that's
powerful
broken.
tool
Again,
in
I did not know
her
she had this much
in
lore.
effect, attaining it completed Buffy, as though it were a piece of her she never knew was missing. With the scythe, Buffy was finally whole. Being the Slayer was no longer a burden, but a purpose.
And by sharing her Slayer powers with thousands of girls around the world, they all teamed up and kicked the First Evil's ass.
Suddenly, the always isolated Buffy had thousands of shoulders to lean on, a sisterhood of Slayers.
And thousands more reasons for any wannabe demon conqueror to stay away from Earth. Because unless you want to get your blood all over her stylish yet affordable boots, you'll steer clear of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
Again, I did not know that they had this much
Skeletober.
lore
You
for
mean
her. Jeez,
Octopus,
man.
WWW.
Like, goddamn, I didn't know she had that much lore. That's kind of sick. Interesting. Wait, are they doing a live action version? What is this? This is unique. I've never seen this before. Oh, did they hire actors for this? Okay, I like this. This is sick. This is something new. Man, Death Battle always like figures out a way to one up themselves. This is
Long before they had a name for kings. But now, starved, hunted, forgotten. You have waited
That
long
blade?
enough. Tonight, we remember who we were.
yeah. You vampires don't want to be around these two.
We take back what was always ours.
You don't touch blade.
We feast.
Yeah. The music.
And she. That's just the start.
Hey, hey, bro. Oh shit. That is dope. He smiles at the camera. That's cool. That's so cool, man. On ahead. Ooh, back shot. Pause. To the jaw. Okay, to the head. Yeah, Death Battle had a budget for this one, dude. Oof. Yeah, suplex! Come on, suplex! Boom! Through a table. Boom. That guy was like, I'm dying, but at least I jammed out. Oh, come on, man. Goddamn ads, bro. Does YouTube really need to have this many ads? Jeez. Per video? God damn. Nope. She lost her humanity. Sorry about this, old girl. Blade can't let you live.
Wait!
All vampires must die. The Blade.
Dude's just a kid!
Not anymore.
She was right. He's a vampire. And to Blade, all vampires must die. Sick. Look at that dude. Block. Block. This is unique. I like this, bro. Did you just take Blade's blade? Part of my pun. Ooh, this is the choreography, dude. Kudos to these actors, man. The choreography, bro. Like, sorry about this, but kudos to the actors, bro. The choreography here is phenomenal. Like, it's fantastic. I'm sorry my camera's so blurry right now, but yeah, Jesus. It's good. It's good.
You out your damn mind?
Probably is, Blade. Probably is. Why are they fighting in the bathroom? I don't know. They could have chosen anywhere else. The toilet? Really? Guys, the toilet? Ooh. What the fuck was that? Oh, it was a steak. Or something. Who's stronger, Buffy or Blade? Blade himself is a vamp. Eesh. Eesh. Ooh. Damn. Ah. Yeah, we forget that Buffy has inhuman strength. Alright, are we gonna do martial arts now?
Cause I was some motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill.
He said the line. He said the line. Hey, kudos to the dance club that let them, you know, record there. Or whoever made the props and sets. They did a great job. Oh, I was just gonna bring out the fucking broken ass axe. Okay, his broken gun got broken. Pardon the pun.
Another sword.
I see you cut through adamantium.
Bring it on.
I thought that it said that her little axe can cut through anything, so I don't know if his adamantium blade will be able to do anything about it. Nice kick. Stank. Oof. Is Blade gonna win here? Or is she gonna swing that axe upward and take his head off? Oh, it's glowing. Yep, I think it's over. I think this is it. The final clash. Yeah, she won. It makes sense because that's a broken ass axe, bro. Reality breaking, really, reality cutting. God damn it, bro. Rest in peace, Blade. You fought valiantly, but you really can't beat a Blade that sort of just says "fuck you" to reality. So.
It's like you got ahead of yourself.
That was sick. They did something very unique here with this. With it though. With this live action.
No longer. I'm surprised. I figured with Blade's many years of comic book history, he'd have the edge.
Believe it or not, Buffy is actually in more comics than Blade.
Really? Man, Blade can't catch a
I'm pretty sure
Let's break this down into
Blade has
4
more
categories.
abilities they
First
probably
up,
didn't
stats.
like
Buffy's
use or
lifted much
something. I
heavier
don't know.
things and survived more significant explosions.
Like, sure, Blade's strong and all, but he isn't literally fucking buildings apart like
Okay.
Buffy.
Scaling
Okay,
to the
relax.
monsters they fought, compare Dracula
Jesus.
creating a storm that covered Boston to the Sorrow Demon creating a storm that covered Los Angeles. A city over 5
They really
times
comparing
larger.
those
You
two?
might be able to compare Blade to Spider-Man like Miles, who absorbed a bomb that could blow up Harlem, but that's significantly weaker than Whistler containing a blast that could wipe out London. They could both dodge light beams, but that doesn't keep Buffy from taking the overall edge in stats.
Blade's used to being the odd man out, though, so his versatility is just as important.
With Blade's numerous powers and massive arsenal, he certainly could have overwhelmed the more straightforward Buffy.
Machine guns and magic swords are generally gonna beat out crossbows and morning stars. Not to mention, he actually wears armor.
Also, Blade's faster healing factor and immunity to traditional vampire weaknesses kept Buffy on the back foot for a time. Blade wins versatility.
But when it comes to skill, Buffy's got plenty of experience fighting armed opponents barehanded.
Both of them were masters of a similar number of martial arts.
And Blade has been kicking vampire ass for a century, way longer than Buffy's even been alive.
While Blade may have more personal experience, Buffy's ability to draw on Slayer battles dating back to the Stone Age, at least 40 times older than Blade,
I think they were gonna
gives
use that
her the
broken shit.
superior skill. Even then,
Yeah.
they both had weapons and abilities so powerful they could end the fight instantly, regardless of all else.
They're trump cards. Fortunately for Buffy, she actually countered almost all of what Blade could throw at her.
Withstanding Blade draining her energy with his bite? Check.
Resisting the Hellfire shotgun destroying her soul? Check.
Preventing Blade turning to mist and exploding her from the inside out? Check.
Meanwhile, Blade had no way to survive, say, Buffy's Gorgon venom turning him to stone.
And even with the deadly and just plain gross breathing gun, Blade did not have anything as potent as the Slayer sight. It could easily deflect the breathing gun's bullets back at him, or use its space-cutting ability to slice through his unbreakable adamantium sword.
Don't believe us? Even Wolverine's adamantium skeleton was cut in half when a portal closed on top of him. That's the same kind of thing.
And Wolverine's beta adamantium skeleton is a much tougher version of
Yeah,
the same
but
metal.
Wolverine
Oh,
would
and
survive
since the
that.
Scythe
So
could kill Silas, a multiverse devouring god, I think it could take down Blade with a big enough swing.
Giving Buffy the final advantage over the Daywalker.
yeah,
Really
I
thought
guess they
Blade
didn't
had a
really.
chance,
They
but
didn't even
Buffy
give
sure
Blade
put
a
damn
chance in
fear on
this.
things.
I didn't
The
think it was
winner
this one
is
sided,
Buffy
but
the
Jesus
Vampire
Christ!
Slayer.
Next time on Death Battle.
All right, what's next? Oh, Dante! Dante is back. Dante. Okay, who's he fighting on?
Subscribe and join
Live.
the member to see
Okay, that's an interesting fight. Okay, I don't know who's gonna win that one at all. I guess. But yeah, this episode of Death Battle was really cool. It it was, I like the uniqueness of it. Like they chose to do a live action fight because they both had movies and TV shows, and I liked it a lot. It worked really well. Kudos to the actors for the choreography. They did amazing. Kudos to the people that built the stages. Kudos to them. They did amazing too. Um, respect for the vampire DJ. Yeah, I hope Blade wins, and then they pulled out the. Hey, Buffy has a fucking blade that cuts through dimensions, and I'm like, as soon as I saw that, I heard that when they were explaining the abilities, I'm like, yeah, Blade is cooked. Blade is cooked. But yeah, this was a fun episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Um, Link down below to this video and Death Battle's channel as always. Thank you guys so much. And you know what we say around here. Adios.